I mean, she is on tour around the world and still makes it to his games on Sundays. He's in the middle of a football season. He's flying to Buenos Aires. They're making it very hard for every other couple that's in a long-distance relationship right now. Oh, you can't make it to my mom's house for Thanksgiving this year? Travis flew to Singapore for Taylor. On the other side of humanity's coin, we have Donald Trump Jr., who was in court again this morning. There he is. You hear the protesters chanting, crime family, and that is basically what these people are, a crime family, a very dumb crime family, the Gambozos, if you will, and is instead going with the our accountants did it defense.
I'm not supposed to rely on a big five accounting firm, like one of the biggest accounting firms in the world. I can pay them millions of dollars. I rely on them to do accounting, but I'm supposed to know more than them. By this logic,
I'm a business guy who had his elbows soldered together, and now I move my arms like a Muppet all the time. And with all the complaining the Trumps do about this trial playing out in the media, you could barely even turn the channel without seeing their lawyer doing an interview with somebody.
What have they been asking the kids? And tell me how they fit into all of this.
They don't fit into all of this. What have they been asking the kids? It's very simple. They'll ask the kids, did you give a value to somebody? Did you do something? And everybody said resoundingly no. And these
They're kids. Eric has a book report due this weekend. They're both still wearing pull-ups. They're on trial? I mean, come on. There they are. Trump's being cheered on with, he's got Dana White there. He's got Tucker Carlson in the back. He's got Kid Rock in tow. And, of course, oh, yeah, there we go, a little fist bump. Don Jr. was thrilled to be a part of the group. He posted this picture of him and Tuck cackling in their blue checkered print shirts. A couple of banana Republicans right there. But even busier for our embattled former president, who I guess in an attempt to mend the wall between himself and the Latino community, sat down on his balls for an interview with Univision where he was taken to task on a number of subjects by one of the toughest journalists in any language. You see where this is going?
According to the latest tally by Media Matters, Donald Trump has selected more than a dozen former Fox News hosts, personalities, and staffers to be in his incoming administration. Most infamously is former Fox and Friends weekend host Pete Hegseth to run the Department of Defense. There's also former Fox weekend host and Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee to be the United States ambassador to Israel. Former Real World reality star and Fox Business host Sean Duffy as his choice for Secretary of Transportation, among many others. At one level, now this is really surprising. It's long been clear that Fox News is basically Trump's entire mental universe. He spends most of his waking time consuming cable news all day, every day. And he wants all his favorite friends from the TV to staff his White House. I gotta say, though, I'm surprised by one particular Fox alumnus that Trump chose to serve his administration from really far away. On Tuesday night, Trump announced that he would be appointing Kimberly Guilfoyle to be his ambassador to Greece. Now, Guilfoyle spent more than a decade at Fox News before she abruptly left the network, apparently over claims of sexual harassment, which she denies. In a statement, Trump wrote, quote, Guilfoyle's extensive experience in leadership in law, media, and politics, along with her sharp intellect, make her supremely qualified to represent the United States and safeguard its interests abroad. Adding, congratulations, Kimberly. Now, many people's first reaction was, whoa, is he really sending his own son off to another continent? After all, Trump Jr. has been engaged to Kimberly Guilfoyle for years. But there's been no mention of Don Jr. following her to Europe. Appears he won't be going. This comes amid much speculation in the tabloids that the happy couple has indeed split up. As the New York Times put it rather diplomatically, the announcement came as Donald Trump Jr. has been seen with the socialite Bettina Anderson in Florida. So, as far as we can tell, Kimberly Guilfoyle will make the 5,000-mile journey to live in Greece as the American ambassador.
So, boasted that his dad is the father of hotel gyms. He said, maybe someone put a gym in a building somewhere, but no one did it at the scale of my father. He's saying that his father, the father of the hotel gym, is a guy who's never stepped inside one. Okay.
Don Jr. is once again on a social media rampage defending his father as if his entire existence depends on it. Because, let's face it, it probably does. With Donald Trump facing a never-ending list of legal battles, including fraud cases, election interference charges, and even allegations of mishandling classified documents, Don Jr. is working overtime to convince anyone who will listen that it's all just a witch hunt. In his latest rants, he appears more frantic than ever, eyes darting, voice cracking, and gesturing wildly as he insists that his father is a victim of a corrupt system. The irony, of course, is that Trump has spent his entire life gaming that very system. The legal troubles aren't coming out of nowhere. Trump is facing real consequences for actions that would have landed anyone else in jail years ago. But Don Jr. is too deep into the family delusion to acknowledge reality. Instead, he blames the radical left, the media, and anyone who doesn't worship at the altar of MAGA. Watching him, you get the sense that he's not just defending his father, he's defending his own fading political relevance and, more importantly, his inheritance. If Trump falls, so does everything Don Jr. has built his identity around. But before we dive deeper into the drama, let's take a moment. Quick favor, if you've been enjoying the commentary, hit that subscribe button. Over 98% of viewers watch without subscribing, and it costs you nothing, but it means everything to us. Great, you clicked it. Thanks so much. Now let's get back to the chaos. It's not just the Trump family clinging to political chaos. Others are jumping into the mix in the most bizarre ways imaginable. In a plot twist straight out of a dystopian satire, Jacob Chansley, better known as the QAnon shaman, is making a bid for Congress. Yes, the guy who became infamous for storming the Capitol on January 6th while wearing a Viking helmet and war paint is now trying to become an elected official. His campaign is built on the same conspiracy-laden nonsense that landed him in prison in the first place. He claims to be fighting the deep state and standing up for real patriots, despite the fact that he spent his time in jail demanding organic food and then promptly turned on Trump, blaming him for leading his followers astray. The most absurd part, given the current political climate, he might actually stand a chance. We live in a world where George Santos, a man who lied about almost every aspect of his life, was elected to Congress, where Marjorie Taylor Greene, a woman who has pushed every conspiracy theory under the sun, is still sitting in office, and where Kari Lake, a diehard election denier, was just inches away from winning the governorship of Arizona. So is it really that far-fetched to think that a convicted insurrectionist could be sworn into Congress? The fact that we even have to ask that question says a lot about the state of American politics. If Chansley gets enough support, he could very well end up in a suit and tie, sitting in the same building he once stormed. And let's not forget, this is the same guy who during the Capitol riot left a note for then Vice President Mike Pence that read, "Justice is coming." Now, he wants to be the justice system. It's the kind of irony that would be hilarious if it weren't so terrifying. And then there's Mike Lindell, the MyPillow CEO, who once seemed incapable of going more than a few hours without screaming about election fraud. But now, silence. For someone who spent years pushing one ridiculous conspiracy after another, wasting millions on failed lawsuits, phony cyber symposiums, and useless investigations, his sudden disappearance is suspicious. Could it be that reality has finally caught up to him? His company is in shambles, with reports that he's auctioning off equipment just to stay afloat. His legal bills are piling up thanks to defamation lawsuits from voting machine companies, and even Trump appears to be avoiding him. That's right, Trump, a man who never turns down an opportunity to associate with anyone willing to blindly support him, seems to have left Lindell out in the cold. Lindell's fall from grace has been nothing short of spectacular. There was a time when he was one of the most prominent figures in the Stop the Steal movement, pouring his personal fortune into pushing baseless machines. He promised to reveal absolute proof of election fraud, only to deliver a series of embarrassing flops. His much-hyped cyber symposium, which was supposed to expose the greatest political scandal in American history, ended up being a complete disaster, filled with nonsense data, tech experts debunking his claims in real time, and of course, absolutely no proof of anything. Fast forward to today, and Lindell is on the verge of financial ruin. MyPillow has reportedly lost millions in sales, major retailers have cut ties with him, and his once loyal followers seem to be losing interest. The man who once claimed he was on a divine mission to save America now seems unable to even save his own company. All of this just proves one thing: American politics is stranger than fiction. Don Jr. is desperately clinging to the illusion that his father is untouchable. The QAnon shaman is attempting to turn his failed coup into a political career. And the MyPillow guy, once the loudest voice in the election fraud circus, has vanished into thin air. Every time you think things can't get weirder, they do. The chaos never stops, and at this point, the only thing left to ask is, who's next?